Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sky is the Limit. I am your host Omar Khalid. In your lifetime, you might have met many religious scholars, but you have not met somebody like this guest on my very episode of Sky is the Limit. He is not only a religious scholar, he is also an advocate. He has done his LLB, his LLM, and champions human rights causes through different fora, has written 2 books on that and has challenged different regulations that have also come in the courts on human rights. He is none other than Dr. Aslam Khaki. Let's try to decipher the man behind the name in this very episode. Stay tuned. And now we've been joined by a juris consultant of Federal Shariat Court, also professor of Sharia at different universities, religious scholars with innovative ideas that he has brought up in the religion, Dr. Aslam Khaki. Dr. Saab, thank you very much to
Thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Saab, you were born in Muzaffargarh in 1950. You are one of 8 brothers and sisters. Your number is, I think, number 2 amongst all the brothers and sisters. Your father used to run a seminary.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your early childhood.
As you have said that I was born in a very orthodox religious family. My father was running madrasa, my forefathers even. So in that scenario, I was also put in the religious environment, just having the religious education. But beside that religious education, my father loved to put me in the school as well. So at both sides, I was just going in a parallel education system, madrasa as well as the school system. So with that, then soaked in the sectarian environment of that area, I used to just involve myself in the debates, sectarian debates and all that. But it didn't attract me. I just said that no, it should not be there, particularly in sectarian reference. However, then my father migrated to Multan and he joined a contract in Madrasa Qasim Noom, where the father of Maulana Fazlur Rahman, the great father of Maulana Fazlur Rahman, Mufti Mahmood Sahab was the HOD. He was the Mufti of that madrasa, and my father was a teacher, religious teacher there. So again, the same case, that madrasa as well as school. Same case with Maulana Fazlur Rahman, then he was also with me in madrasa as well as in the school. And we both matriculated from Millat High School, Multan, with a 1-year difference. I was senior to him. So after doing my matriculation, I joined my FSC in Muzaffargarh.
And I believe your father did not have the financial resources
Yeah,
to support you.
Yeah, that's why in FSC, just I took FSC with scholarships, so managing myself partially. But totally after FSC, my father just raised hand up and he said that I can't afford you because the hostel was involved for my BSc. I wanted to get admission in Multan. But I just moved to Multan and arranged some tuitions for me. I started teaching tuition because I was science student and there were vast opportunity for the science teachers and science subjects. So I did my graduation BSc, and at that time Mr. Javed Hashmi was our friend and president. I just joined the movement with him in various perspectives as it was the student.
And you were at Emerson College?
Yeah, yeah. I graduated from Emerson College, Multan. That was a great college. So after doing my BSc, then again the same case, that no financial resources, but I wanted to just make my MSc. So I moved to Lahore, and then I searched for the employment, but no employment, but I just started a small academy, tuition academy in the evening. So that was a good source of income for me. Rather, I saved some money monthly. And I joined there my master's in science education. At that time, it was called MA education or teaching.
Why science education, sir?
Because I was a science student throughout, and I loved science throughout my career.
So you wanted to mix education and scientific knowledge
because
together.
I said that if there is no sense, or if you don't know the science, you can't follow the religion or can't understand the religion. That's why with this combination of teaching science, and then after that doing my MSc there, then I was offered lecturership in Gomal University. Yeah, in 1974, there was a Pakistan-based competition, and we won the competition, and with me was your Shuaib Mansoor. He was there, then we had a common experience of teaching, residence and all that.
You said you lived in hostels. You lived in hostels when you were doing your BSc, also when you were doing your MSc.
Yeah.
How was it difficult to live in a hostel life compared to your household where you had your brothers and sisters and a loving mother who doted on you?
No, it didn't make me any much difference, because I used to travel with my father, because my grandfather was holding the madrasa and all that, Gaddi Peer, etc. And my father used to go to various madrasas in Multan under contract teaching their religious education. So I was already out of home many times. But even in the hostels, I just love to be in the hostel because there was some freedom, and then I have to go for the tuitions and all that. That didn't bother me. Still, I feel that I'm in the hostel.
People say that hostel life kind of makes you a very free bird, makes you independent, but at the same time, it could inculcate some bad habits in you as well. Did you kind of refrain from that? Did you get the opportunity to kind of be in such company?
I was, even my friends of those times, they will tell you that I was a different person. Because had I not been a different person, I would have not been here in your program. Because the different persons have already the different background. If they are not different in their childhood, in their youth, they cannot become a different, positively different.
That is so
true. That was my background, because I was under the pressure and rush of earning and in education. I used to take my LLB classes. I used to take 4 tuitions. I used to go door to door. That is the home delivery program. Teaching, that was the practice there. The people used to visit the houses and teach tuition.
You finished your master's and then you began your LLB?
No, parallel.
Oh, you were doing it parallel.
3 subjects. Even I did my private MA Islamia. Then I said,
Mashallah.
sure, I should go back to Islam. So after doing my, and you would be wonderful to know it, that for 6 years, 1974 to 80, I have been teaching in the university science subjects.
Oh.
Then I did my LLM, because I was the youngest ASA, president of ASA in Pakistan. And then I was the president of ASA, Academic Staff Association. It was the same time when Maulana Tahirul Qadri was also contesting for the ASA election in Punjab University, Shiri Mazari in Qaidam University. Then we joined in the Federation of All Pakistan Association, which is called FAPUASA.
And you were the vice president?
And I was the vice president, and ma'am Shiri Mazari was the secretary general of the FAPUASA, that is the Federation of All Pakistan. And then the time came, the martial law tightened there, and it was a wonderful experience that when the show cause notice was given to the various office bearers of the Federation, or to the people who were just active in representing their electorates or raising voice for the rights of their electorate, for the university teachers, naturally. The show cause notices were served to me, to Mr. Mashahad Hussain. He was the executive member of the Federation, and we used to have many meetings there. So in that scenario, many of the office bearers submitted their apology directly and indirectly, but me and Sayyid Mashahad Hussain, we stood straight. We said no, we had done no wrong and we will not surrender. So we were dismissed from service, me and Mashahad Hussain. I was also dismissed from my university, he was dismissed from Punjab University. And wonderful experience that after that, because I had joined PhD in Punjab University after my dismissal, we used, me and Mashahad Hussain, used to sit together that how to make our future. We both are dismissed. So used to plan to just open a college, start an academy. But luckily he got the chance in the newspaper, The Muslim, as an editor, and I got the chance of just continuing my education. Then I did joined International Islamic University, the founder courses of LLM Sharia. So I started my education here, and beside that, then again, because I was dismissed from service, I had already developed a family. To fetch the family and to feed them, I again started the tuition business there.
So speaking of family, you got married in the
1976, yeah.
If I'm not wrong, an arranged marriage, I gather.
No, arranged come love marriage.
All right,
yeah.
All right. Was your wife somebody you knew from the workplace, or?
Yeah, from my studentship.
All right.
Yeah, because her brother-in-law was the dean of the sciences in another department, but it was arranged come love marriage.
All right.
It was love from herself and
Arranged from your
from
side.
arranged.
All right.
But when this program would be aired, I would say, no, it was a slip of tongue. I wanted to say otherwise.
All right. So you got married in 1976. You've
Sure.
got two wonderful daughters. So let's now kind of go back to, you said you had to feed your family, so you
Yeah.
started to give tuitions again.
Yeah, even in Islamabad, in these areas, affair, and because there was a pressure, financial pressure there, but I just started my career as an advocate then in Islamabad.
Which year was that?
It was in 1983, 84. In 84, I got the license for lower courts.
All right.
But the problem was that when I started my career here, I did not have the orientation towards this advocacy or to this field as an advocate, law profession as a lawyer, because my teaching inclination orientation was there. So I just took the opportunity and was made the opportunity to teach at the Federal Judicial Academy, and at that time was Muslim Law College.
All right.
Yeah.
There's something of dissimilarity or a very striking difference between what you were teaching and what you were at a certain phase of your life. 4 years, sir, you refrained from religion of any kind and you became an atheist.
Atheist, yeah.
Which 4 years were that?
These were about 1970 to 74.
And why was that?
There were multiple reasons. The basic was the same question was put by in Thailand in a human rights conference, that what made me to just leave your religion. The journey to atheism and back to Islam, that is my favorite opportunity topic even. So there was a domestic violence. I used to see there were two events which led me to atheism. Number one was my religious environment. Whenever there was some quarrel or fight between me, my father and my father just resolved to the violence in the name of religion. Even my grandma, that is the Nani, she just sided with my father on the pretext that, oh, in religion, if the wife receives injuries or beating on the body, that part of body is rescued from fire in the hereafter. So with this, you should not react to the husband even if he beats you. That just made me just, it's unnatural, how it is possible. So the seed of atheism against the religion revolt one time there. The second time was that my father used to give taweez to the people, and there was a book in which many taweez or this zikr were written, that if you write this, you will get this. There I took that book and it was written that if you recite this ayat while you are cutting the fruit would be, be sweet. So at that time in, Muzaffargarh, there were watermelons. I said, oh yes, I must try it, because the watermelon which we just used to purchase usually were pink or white. Now we have China brands, so most of them are red, but in that time most of them were just not red, you can say. So I took the watermelon and just tried it, just seeing that ayah, وَمَا ذَبَحُوهَا وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. I did it, but to my surprise, it was white. I said, oh, my ayah, my zikr wazifa didn't work. Again, then I took the second one, made ablution, wazukiya, and just posing and direction in Qibla, all those formalities. But again, the result was same. So because I was at the growing stage, I could not conceive the thing. Then, then that gave me a message that the Quran is not a true book. Why didn't it work?
Cutting them or
Yeah,
watermelons.
So with that seed and with that nursery, I just revolt. And there are many other reasons. Even if somebody says that when I just read some hadith, that riwayat not hadith because they are za'if and qawi hadith, that if somebody dies in Ramadan, he will straight away go to paradise. My conscience and understanding said, why? What did he do? The Quran says, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرٍ يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرٍّ يَرَهُ. Whosoever do a small good thing, that would be put in his balance. And whosoever does the wrong or the evil, even a small, that would put in his balance. So whatever the balance goes, the piety, then he would go to paradise, otherwise to hell. I went to this principle that Quran gives this principle. How it is possible that by chance you go to paradise, or just doing one thing, that if you do that, then you would go to paradise, simply yani ke just going. So for that search, I just changed my profession or teaching of science to Sharia. So I did my MA Islamic studies because I had a mother's education.
But sir,
then
4
Sharia.
years of
Yeah.
remaining an atheist, at that time you were doing your bachelor's or master's?
No, masters,
All right.
science, MSc science plus law plus teaching 4 yani, coaching classes.
So, when did you revert back to Islam, sir?
Then I made studies of different scholars and that, and one scholar was there. I used to attend his lecture. That was G.A. Parvez Sahab, Ghulam Parvez Sahab. He just told me that differentiation between the Za'if hadith and the Qawi, because all these concocted things you would see, these are in the name of riwayat or ahadith. He just explained it that there is difference between weak ahadith and strong ahadith. So all these things which were attributed and they did not just fit to your mind or fit to fairness or justice, or in the weak ahadith, not in the strong ahadith. So that's why when I got admission in LLM Sharia, I got the specialization in hadith. And my LLM Sharia, all that I am the teacher of ahadith and the student of hadith.
And that is when you reverted also?
Yeah, yeah, I reverted. Then
right.
that gave me, then I studied Quran from this perspective. And so whenever there was some hadith, I just made it on the test stone of the Quran. Then there were muhaddithin who wrote that if you find any hadith, is it against Quran, then you should think that it is concocted or da'if or for persuasion. The people have just concocted a hadith for persuasion, so that the people get persuaded to these things or no, but not really. So that you can say reality check was available with me.
Right.
Then I just accepted Islam in its true and real sense.
So now
that's
you
why the people say that when did you become Muslim? I say I became Muslim in 1974.
Oh.
Before that, I just accepted, I embraced Islam as inherited property, as most of you are there.
Exactly, because more or less we've inherited Islam as a religion from our fathers, from our
Yeah,
forefathers.
like any other religion.
The realization of religion, the realization of Islam as that religion that we kind of profess comes at a certain moment of time when you start understanding the complexities and the different details of the religion, what is important in it and what is not. And when you really start to follow it from the heart, that is when you become a real Muslim.
The Iman is tested by our conduct, I say, claim and conduct theory, that it is not the name of claim only. And sometimes I say, even I am known in my classes and in all that for my innovative ideas, but these are not innovative, these are real ideas. I say that if somebody says that there are 200 million Muslims in Pakistan, that's a lie, it's false. They say, how it is? I say that, yes, 200 million are kalma go. They claim that we are Muslim, but few millions are Muslims, other are hypocrites, because whatever they claim, when they go to the market, they go for the hoarding, they go for the adulteration, each and everything there is violative of their claim. You can say that oath. Everybody takes office bearer takes the oath, but it violates. So the people who violate the oath or their kalma, they are not the Muslim, they may be the hypocrites.
What is the definition of a true Muslim? When does an oath-taking person, I mean somebody who has read the Kalmago as you said, when does a Kalmago become a Muslim?
Naturally, as I have just said, that when we act upon the teachings of Islam, then you become a Muslim. How much you are Muslim? At least I say that the passing marks are 51%. As Quran says, it's very much clear. So if we don't follow the teachings, we are hypocrites. That's why I say that most of the people, in the name of the Islam, like any other religion, it has now universalized in all the religion. The youth is not following their teaching, just claiming that they are Christians or Jews or Hindus or etc. Same case.
Nobody is a true follower.
Yeah, true follower. So that is, I say that because they say that how can you say that they are hypocrites? My students react to that. I say that, have you heard the hadith? Ayatul munafiq salas, that there are three signs and evidence of a hypocrite. إذا حدث كاذبا, whenever he speaks lie. وإذا وعد أخلف, when he makes promises or commitment, he violates it. And وإذا تؤمن خان, and when he is just given some trust, he violates or breaks that trust. Imanat mein khiyanat. So all these three, I asked them whether these three qualities are not found in general, exceptions are always there in Pakistan or in this our society. They say yes. Any profession, if you go for shop, for construction, to the carpenter, mason, all that, you will see that nobody is going with his commitment. That's why when for the first time when I went to America on interfaith dialogue, I came back. So I was much fascinated by the conduct there, by the freedom and the good environment. As one person who goes for the first experience to any environment, he gets fascinated and just all that. So after 3 days, I had a class in my Federal Judicial Academy where civil judges were under training. I just told them, oh, in America, they're a very good society. They have the qualities and we don't have any good qualities. We have the, I just kept on talking. I became emotional, frankly. Just, one of the civil judges asked me, sir, you tell me, did you find any merit in our society and any demerit in their society? Or all the merits are with them and all the demerits or defects are with us? I just had a pause and said, yes, there are three qualities which are in our society at large, exception on both sides as a nation, and three demerits there. What's that? When they drink and we don't drink. At large, exceptions always there. They had, you can say, very short clothings. We can say they don't care about their full clothing. Semi-naked, you can say we have proper clothing. And they eat the pork, we don't eat the pork. There are three qualities of our society and three demerits of the. Can you point, as a nation, except another, can you point out any fourth demerit which is there as a nation and fourth merit which is with us as a nation? All were silent. I said, yes, tell me. And if you find, they could not point out any merit as a, then I said that if you find it, even later on, this is my number, you can, just, somebody said that, and he was right that we care about our families and they don't, I accepted that, yes, fourth quality is there. So all these things go on merit, I say.
So you need to have these qualities to be called a real Muslim.
That depends upon your intention. If you have the direction, that you have the intention and the direction to become a true Muslim, and then Uswa Hasana is before us, the role model of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you go just acting upon his, not only in ibadat but also in the muamalat, in the hukukullah and hukukul ibad. So according to your capacity, according to your limitation, if you go on acting upon them, just you may skip something because after a human being, nobody is perfect. So the minimum passing marks are 51%.
And for 51%, what qualities do you need to have?
That is the honesty, telling truth. Truth is the main thing. One of the companion of the Holy Prophet ﷺ came to the Holy Prophet and said, I have many defects and many bad habits in my life, but I can leave only one bad habit, whatever you want. The Holy Prophet asked him to leave telling lie. Don't go further. He said, it's very easy. But the next day, he was a thief. He wanted to go for theft. He just imagined that if the police or the people ask me the second day that who did go for the theft, I have to tell truth. Even same. Then he came to the Holy Prophet and said, the Prophet, I can't go with this. Leave this habit of telling lie. You tell me any other thing. The Prophet said, no, this is the only, it would put you in the direction. So there are human values or respect for the rights of the other people is the main thing. Doing your duties, that is in the way. And those all values are just accepted by the civilized society. These are not different, except one or two, you can say, other are universally accepted values.
All right.
And in all the religion, because I am a teacher or student of interfaith dialogues.
That we will come to interfaith dialogue because that is a very important topic that I need to talk to you about. But you were an advocate for the Federal Judicial Academy. You were teaching Sharia at the Federal Judicial Academy, also at the National Police Academy. And because of that, you surrendered your advocacy.
The main reason was that when I started my teaching at Federal Judicial Academy, where judges are trained, The next day, after that course was complete, I just appeared before a civil judge. When I entered the court, the civil judge stood up as a respect in panic, and then he adjourned the court and resorted to his retiring room and asked his reader to just invite me there. I went there and he stood up and just said, "Sir, please don't come by yourself, you can send the juniors," because he was my trainee. I said, "Yes, it is easier, I will not go." But the people came to me on the pedestal or in the understanding that I teach to the judges and I can get the favor for their case. Clearly, they just offered me any fee, but they wanted to win the case only with the reason that I am teaching to the judges and the judges are my students. I went in the night to istikhara. Istikhara, I don't go just sleeping, even in the calm, quiet, talking to me there. And God guided me. I said, no, it is haram for me now to practice here, because naturally they would give me favor. So I surrendered my practice in the district courts, where most of them are now, even they are my students, for the reason that I don't want to earn haram. And that is on the record. Except when there is my own case in which I am witness, I don't plead any case there.
All right.
Because I don't want to haram. God guided me, leave it, I will give you. And God gave me more than those people who are practicing there.
Mashallah.
Financially and as a respect. And it's an honor for me to be here.
Because you chose the right path, Dr. Saab, that's why.
This is the challenge. And I can also tell them that I refuse to contest the cases against the laborers. Though I was offered a big legal advisory of one institution. I don't want to name it, but I didn't choose it. I said, no, how can I go against the labor?
In 2004, sir, you go to the United States to take part in interfaith dialogue faculty. You are part of that. How was that experience?
That experience was wonderful because they chose from the 10 countries, underdeveloped countries, 10 Muslim scholars and 10 Christian scholars. And from India there were Hindu scholars, as the case may be. So we were in dialogue with each other and to the people. So we shared our experiences. For example, when my lectures on Islam were there, they attended, the whole community, it was in the churches. And there was a wonderful experience there, that it was a churches, one of the church in the university, Massachusetts, then we were given the opportunity because it was moved by the Presbyterian churches. So I was just asked to just recite from Holy Quran and give some translation in the church, because it was the custom there they had arranged it. And I just recited the Quran. Those verses which were recited by Jafar Tayyar before the Najashi, that was in the praise and glory of Holy Mary, Virgin Mary. So I told them that the Quran says, Ya Maryamu inna Allah astafake wa taharake wa astafake ala nisa'il alamin. Oh Holy Mary, God has chosen you, has kept you pure and sacred, and has chosen you above all the women of the world, nisa'il alamin. Alamin, as Rahmatul lil Alamin, Rabbul Alamin, of all the times, past, present and future. And all that. And when I just finished it, the dean of the faculty there, Dr. Elizabeth, still I remember her name, she took me to her office there, university office, and asked me to sit in his chair. He said, bless my office with your presence. Oh, you believe in Holy Mary? I said, more than you believe perhaps. The mention of the Holy Mary, Virgin Mary in Quran is more than it's mentioned in any other book, including the Bible or New Testament. And she was so impressed, and she became one of my good friends there. For the second time in 2007, when I went there and she knew it, she came to see me. So that is the interfaith dialogue and such activities. They just wash away the, you can say, hatred among the faith followers.
I think that's very important. Even in this day and age, Dr. Saab, it's very important for different communities to have that interfaith dialogue, to understand each other better, because there are so many common elements that they can kind of perceive from each other.
I used to go to this Christian Study Center where there are interfaith dialogue. I deliver lectures there on interfaith harmony, as there are some other scholars, they also go there. So interfaith harmony has been my favorite topic of teaching, research and scholarships.
2007, so you were talking that you went again to the US. So 2007, you went to Birmingham University.
Yeah.
And you were the visiting faculty there, and you got a Chevening scholarship. That is one of the
award
biggest
scholarship. Not scholarship. Scholarship is for students. It is award. It's as a teaching assignment.
Scholarship award. That's what
award is they're higher than that. So that in 2007 again, I was selected as a fellow there, and then I availed that award for 4 months in Birmingham University. When I completed that award, I was offered there by the Department of Ethnicity and Culture as the initially visiting faculty, then adjunct professor for 9 months. So I just kept on there, started. But in the same time, I was just selected for Fulbright visiting professor program, specialist program. That was high enough. I didn't know that it is so high, but one of my friend who was from Nigeria in that award, he said, "Oh, this is a great award. You don't know that Fulbright visiting specialist, our vice chancellors are sometimes rejected from this." So I went there in the end, and then I completed 100 lecture series in
North Carolina.
In North Carolina. And the university allotted to me was East Carolina University. That was wonderful experience. Then I was made to just have some lecture with the sheriff, with the even Air Force and the people there.
So what was the interaction basically like? Because you talked to students, and you said you talked to the sheriff and people in the administration as well. How was the interaction? How was the reaction from their end when you talked to them about religion?
Yeah, because my main topic was terrorism and jihad, difference between jihad, because it was the call of the time there, because I was just supposed to talk in Sharia issues and all that. The sheriffs also, they knew our basic things on Muslim International more than even our ulama know, because they can study. One was the experience that I was just invited to make presentation on difference between terrorism and jihad. It was the Air Force Academy in the North Carolina. There were few pilots full in uniform, and most of them were who just came back after bombardment in Afghanistan. So they just asked me a question that, you, the people, Muslims, do not believe in peaceful coexistence. You believe? I said, no, we believe in. And don't you believe in the institution? Don't you have the institution of jihad? Because to them, jihad means just attacking the non-Muslim without reason, qua non-Muslim. Because they are non-Muslim, so they should be attacked. Just I responded to his question when he said that you have the institution of jihad. I said, don't you have the institution of, I said, don't you have the Ministry of Defense? And there was no answer to this. They said, yes, we have the Ministry of Defense. And it is the same thing. Jihad is the Ministry of Defense. We have the Ministry of Defense, and not more than that. All what the people are doing in the name of Islam. So always I say, I believe in God, but not in his ground stuff, working in his name against his orders. So that is the ground stuff.
All right. So you also went to Cyprus, Sweden. You talked on human rights. You talked about culture as well. You've been to many different countries. What is the journal question that people ask you?
Mostly they are related with the concept of jihad in Islam. Number two, the things which are just reported in our books, and they are against that. Even you will be surprised to know that satanic verse, that is just reported in our authentic book of Tariq history, Tariq Tabri, and they just exploited. We have many here things. That's why I went to research that the things which are exploited in blasphemy by the non-Muslim, most of them, their text is present in our own books, and we authenticate those books. That's why I am writing a book on that particularly, that which cause. So we should condemn actions before we condemn reactions. We are giving them the reason in our books, and we own those books. We own those things. Even interfaith dialogue, somebody was saying that in your curriculum there is a mention of Mahmud Ghaznavi, and still you say that you believe in the peaceful coexistence. So there are many challenges. We have to revisit our religious dogmas, religious practices, our society, our culture. My main topic was there for a conference in India on human rights was culture, human rights and religion at crossroad.
Oh,
Something which are, yeah, and they are very interesting. And one says that something which are permitted by religion are not permitted by law or not permitted by our culture. There will be honor killing if you go and enjoy your right of association to opt for your partner, which is right is given by our religion, but not by culture. One thing which is a point of concern for me, I have the opportunity of just making justice. That's why Asma Jahangir was a very good friend of mine. We shared our experiences on many legal issues, Islamic legal issues. And she used to say me, Mullah Khaki, where he is Mullah. And the Mullah says me, he is Asma Jahangir or he is a human rights activist, modern. So, as the people say, अपने भी हैं नाराज और बेगाने भी नाखुश मैं ज़हर हिला हल को जो कह न सका कन. One thing is a point of alarming which I say, and that's why we want to attract the youth. Youth is oscillating between the two extremes. On one is religious orthodoxism, which say everything is prohibited in Islam. You can't love, you can't even talk to the girl, you can't join, you can't go for co-education, you can't. They say that everything is prohibited in Islam, anything you can enjoy. On the other hand are NGO, other extreme. They say no, everything is permitted to you, you can do anything. I should even repeat, mera jism, meri marzi, mera zehn, meri soch. No, the balance is between the two. Islam says there should be a balance. You have your rights, you have your freedom, you have some limitations. That's why Quran says, وَوَضَعَ الْمِيزَانِ. We said, so I am working for the balance in between the two. So we should give the Sharia concept or Islamic concept which is balanced and real Islam. So sometimes people say, do you believe in liberal Islam? I say no. Do you believe in Orthodox Islam? I say no. They say, what Islam? Real Islam, as it was brought by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We can test it.
You also work on social issues. That is another aspect of your personality that is very fascinating. You've undergone social service movements such as the rights of transgenders in the Supreme Court. You've worked on the rights of the disabled. You founded the Rahat Ghar. That was a residential house for the disabled. You were also working on currently on the rights of prostitutes as well.
Very sensitive and dangerous field. So I have worked for that, and that the Rahat Ghar, which I just founded for the first time, it was the first after Karachi. It was in one Karachi run by some foreign women. It was the first residential house, charity house, no fees, no expenditure, for the CP children, cerebrally palsy. Their brains are damaged and they are on the courts. We run it with the help of my few advocates under Rahat Welfare Foundation. But when and the ambassador of Bosnia, she used to come, Mrs. Nouri Hashwani, they used to come there for social service, just cleaning the hands and mouths and feeding the children who are just bedridden. So then they asked that they want to participate in social service and they want themselves to be the director. I said, you should take over all that. And they took over and they are just running it better than I was because they have more resources. And now its changed name is Umeed Noor Center.
All right.
The chair is Mrs. Nouri Hashwani.
Not only have you worked on social services, you're an advocate, you have gone the world over and talked about human rights and interfaith harmony, but you've also authored two very interesting and important books, Readings in Human Rights. That is the first book, ladies and gentlemen. I can show it to you here. And the second book is called Islam and Human Rights Issues, that talks about interfaith dialogue, terrorism and religion, one of the topics that you've talked in the US as well, hudud ordinances, forced marriages, death sentence, evidence of women and Islam, and so many other topics. Two very interesting books, ladies and gentlemen, that talk about human rights as per our religion, that is Islam. Now, how long did it take you to author these two books?
One of them, because as a teacher and as a researcher, I used to take notes and develop some articles. I just collected my articles, the research paper, and then it took me 6 months for one book. And for that book, the idea and the sponsorship, rather the ownership was given by the Felix Naumann Foundation, that is the government of Germany cultural organization here in Pakistan. They published it. So they gave me the help, all that editing, and that took me about 9 months to 1 year. And this is the latest, is the 4th edition of that book. And its book launching was done in Berlin, in Germany, because they own this book.
All right.
So that is an honor for me that the German government is publishing our books.
That's excellent. You're not only at this moment a jurist consultant for the Federal Shariat Court, but you're also working in different fields, and you have gotten different kinds of awards. Like we talked about the Chevening Award, but apart from that, you also got the Religious Scholar Award on the International Teachers' Day that was organized by UNESCO. Awards that you've gotten over your period of time of your professional career, what meaning do they have for you?
That is an appreciation and feeling of achievement for me, that my efforts have been achieved and they have been appreciated. So that gives me a petrol for further, energizes me for further work. So one of them, to my achievement at the legal side, as I work for the transgender, on the Sharia side, you know that I challenge the rules of this prison rules, and I won that case in which the Federal Shariat Court gave the order that the matrimonial rights of the prisoners should be protected. They have ordered that they should just develop some quarters in the jail in which once in a month the wife should visit her husband who is in the jail for a long time, and they should have 1 night or 2 nights together to just have their matrimonial and other consultation and sharing experiences. That has been ordered by the Federal Shariat Court in my case, that is PLD 2010, Dr. Aslam Khaki case. The second was death penalty. I just said that the death cell should be eliminated. They have been eliminated for the capital punishment until their appeal is dismissed by the High Court. Now I am going to the Supreme Court that this death cell should be totally abolished, because a person who is going to be hanged, he would be hanged for his crime, and this is an additional crime, double punishment, that he is put in the death cell. He is going to be hanged, that's sufficient. And that is very inhuman circumstances, their environment of the death cell. So this is there, and many other cases I have in the pipeline, and I have devoted myself just to challenge the law, not the practices, because there are millions of malpractices, but they are based upon the law or absence of law. So I want to create the law to regularize these evil or ill practices in the society.
I think that's very important. That's a very noble cause that you have undertaken, to talk about very important rights of people of different segments of the society, and also to put various things at the right path as far as the religion is concerned, what our religion really talks about. Because I feel, sir, and I would like to share it with you, that many people have a very demented idea of what Islam is. Islam is a very simple religion. The basic concepts of Islam are very simple, straightforward. There's I mean, but we have made it so complicated that a lot of people fail to understand what Islam means.
I have a book started, and it may be published, but no, it is just over time or expired the time in which I wanted to put. That was Understanding Islam for the non-Muslims, by how the non-Muslims. So in the very beginning, I gave a slogan that Islam is the most misunderstood religion by its followers more than by the non-followers. We ourselves have misunderstood Islam. And I have made a contrast clear between terrorism and jihad. Then I came up with a unique experience, with unique definition of jihad, and with which the terrorism gets away. And that is, I say to the students and to the people, okay, how can you define the democracy? They say it is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. I say, no, you can define jihad. And if you can define it and accept this, then terrorism is rooted out. And that is the definition of jihad, is the war by the state, for the state, of the state. So if you accept the one principle that use of force by the state is jihad, use of the force, even if it is for the valid reason, by the non-government, non-state, is terrorism, even for the valid reason. Not only the war, even you can't enter into the peace with any other state without the consent of state. If some group in Pakistan, they just go for a pact of peace with India, oh, on Kashmir, yes, come on, we have a pact of peace, we want to sign a pact, that would be just high treason. No.
Unless the state gets
State,
involved.
so these are the foreign policy. As I say that jihad is not a, in its strict sense, so it is not a religious institution, it is a state institution. Everybody has the right of self-defense. Islam is a regulatory authority. As nikah, nikah is not a religious institution. Islam is the regulatory authority. It only tells you that these are the framework, you can't cross these. You can marry with a prohibited degree, you can't marry though, then your option. Even before Islam, the people got married. Even atheists, they also get married, all that. So that is biological, social, cultural need, all that. And all above is the regulatory. Islam is the regulatory authority. It doesn't give you the systems. That's why another my complexion of my research is that we go into the system, economic system of Islam, political system. No, there is no system. Islam gives you the basic principles, how to develop your system into your own culture and society. Because the systems are developed keeping in view the demands and the context of your society in which are living. You can't compare the democratic system of the Khilafat with the present. You can't go with them. The political system, only the principles should be there. And you can develop any system keeping within the framework of Islam.
These are so important words, and I hope all of you who are listening can adhere to that, because Islam, to me and to Dr. Sahab as well, is a simple religion. Things have been put out forthright, and you just have to abide by those principles under those frameworks, remaining under those guidelines, and then develop whatever you want to. In fact, that is what Islam says.
As it was said that the Holy Prophet was asked that what about the freedom of the man within the framework of religion, or that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, and some people say that it is attributed to Hazrat Ali, but the content is the same. That did you see a horse that he is tied with the knob there, and he has the freedom to move around according to the length and radius of the rope, but can't go behind that. So same cases that we are tied with our religious values. So we can enjoy freedom, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, come back, all that, but can't cross the radius of that. Suppose it is 20 meters. So both is there.
All right, all right. Looking back at your life, Dr. Saab, you've achieved so much. You've done such a lot of work.
I want to achieve more than what I have achieved.
I will come to that, but is there anything that you would have changed had you been given the opportunity to relive your life?
I tell to the teacher, my students, again I would become a teacher if given a chance. I easily can earn, and even my students, my advocates would tell you that Aslam Khaki could earn about 15 lakh to 20 lakh per month if I do my practice. Everybody is there, the high police officer, my students, the judges, my student, in high court, even now I am just saying goodbye to the high court practice. Same, because my students are there. So with that, but as a teacher, one of my advocate, my student who was advocate at some time, he just told me that, do you know, sir, that I was your student and I just gave an answer to your question, one funny, rather real question. I said, so, yes, I can't recover. He said, sir, you ask in the class. One time I said in the class, and I usually say sometimes, that I have a girlfriend in this class. The people just, they get shocked by how can a teacher say when there are just mixed class, the students are there. Yeah. And I say that every class I have a girlfriend. So at the end that I make them in confusion. So at the end they say, what is she? And then I tell, teaching. Teaching is my girlfriend. Girlfriend, in just making a fun is that. Otherwise, it's that the teaching is my first choice.
All right, that's excellent. A person who's dedicated and who gives preference to what he is passionate about, that is teaching. What should we expect from you in the coming months and years?
In the coming months, that my researches are very much root-based. I don't just take as it is. Number one, revisiting religion, Sharia. This is my main topic, and I have been searching for it. So revisiting means that there is difference. I just differentiate between religion and religiosity. Most of the teaching, most of the things which are presented to us are not the religion. They are not in the, they are either in the interpretation or in the Zaif Ahadith or sectarian interpretation, all these. That is called religiosity. Religion is based upon belief. अक़ीदा, मज़हब अक़ीदे पर कायम होता है, रिलीजियोसिटी अक़ीदत पर कायम होती है, इमोशनल या पर्सनैलिटी बेस्ड, बिकॉज दैट पीर इज सेइंग सो आई एडमिट, बिकॉज माई पेरेंट्स आर सेइंग सो आई एक्सेप्ट इट. Religion is in pure text. To my research of about more than 40 years, I would say, because when I just embraced Islam, I went into the research, and throughout I am doing that research. 80% of time is involved in my research. And just think, what is religion? Even if you say from early in the morning to the late in night, if you evaluate yourself, what you are doing in the name of religion, is it a religion? And the test is that did Quran ask for it? Did the Holy Prophet do it? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, very clear. And after that, nothing. Or did the Sahaba did it, do it? No. Then again, then all other things are religiosity.
These are two things that need to be properly differentiated. So thank you very much to
Thank you
have
for
given us the
inviting
time. But before we go, I'd like you to give a message, or what would your final words be for the Muslims around the world, or those who say that they are professing the religion of Islam? What would your 2 cents be to those people?
Yeah, my message is just as Quran says, "Afala yatadabbarun al-Quran, afala yaqilun, afala taqilun." Apply your wisdom. Even Quran says that these people, when they just go to the ayat, they just do not put their heads blindly or deafly. Then contemplation. And I always say that jaagte rehna is my motive, that the people would be frauding you, defrauding you in the name of religion, in the name of culture. Everything you would take a fraud. You would see that you are frauded. Even just seeing in the story of Heer and Ranja, we have been frauded. But what did Heer do? She didn't sacrifice, neither the Ranja sacrificed, nor the Heer, only just whistling the whistle and all that, and going with the buffaloes. What did he do for his love and for her love? Nothing. But we have made them hero and heroine. It's just a non-religious example that we have been before, because Waris Shah just made a story there and we worshipped it. So all these things in the religion, you have to test it. Anything which is against the wisdom, conscience, you will find them that they are against Islam. They have been concocted stories based upon Zaif Ahadith or Riwayat or our folk stories or by our culture. So all these things. So whenever you find anything, jaagte rehna. See whether it is in line with Quran, in line with the life of the Holy Prophet, then it's okay. Leave other things to God Almighty to decide. Who won the game, who was the first caliph, who was that. Leave it to God Almighty. He will decide it all. We would not be asked about these stories, that what they have been working.
That's a very interesting concept, and I hope that, ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching us can take some inference out of what he has said. Be aware of what is being told around you, and always whenever you hear something, do confirm it as per the teachings of the Quran and the Holy Prophet, if they're really true, if there's really some basis in it. Thank you so very much, Dr. Aslam Khaki, to have joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this program. I hope you've gained some wisdom. I hope your eyes have opened a little bit as per what Dr. Aslam Khaki has told us during the whole course of this interview, because it is not only his life path, it is also the life path that a lot of us as Muslims also need to choose. A path that is full of revelations, a path that is full of wisdom, a path that is taken with your eyes, ears open, and of course following the Quran and Sunnah. Omar, Khalid, but bids you farewell from this episode of Sky's the Limit. We'll be back inshallah next week, same time, same channel. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz. And Dr. Saab, thank you so very much.
Thank you.